Today, we look at the book, The Psychology of Money. The author, Morgan Housel, is a well-known financial writer. In this video, we talk about money, but not in the usual way. What if everything you know about money is wrong? You work hard. You try to save. But something still goes wrong. Why does this happen? Morgan Housel has the answer. He says money is not about strategy. It is about your mind. Watch this video. You will see money in a completely new way. You will never think about it the same again. Chapter 1. No one is crazy. Two people, same country, same age, but totally different ideas about money. How is that possible? Think about Japan's bubble economy in the late 1980s. Young people at that time saw prices go up every year. Jobs were easy to find. Bonuses were big. Spending money felt natural. It felt normal. Those people learned one lesson. Money comes back. Now think about the employment ice age, the 1990s and early 2000s. Young people then had a very different experience. Jobs were hard to find. Many people could not get a full-time job. Life felt unstable and scary. Those people learned a very different lesson. Save everything you can. These two groups are not very different in age. But their ideas about money are completely different. One group feels relaxed about spending. The other feels afraid. And here is the key point. Neither group is wrong. They are simply products of what they lived through. Morgan Housel says this is the most important idea in the whole book. We all think our money decisions make sense. And we are right, for our own story. But our story is not the same as everyone else's story. Economist Ulrike Malmendier studied this in 2006. According to this study, people who lived through hard economic times save more money. They keep saving even after the economy gets better. Think about yourself for a moment. Were you a child of the bubble years? Or did you grow up watching your parents worry about money? Your answer explains a lot about how you use money today. But what about things outside our control? Can luck change your financial life? The answer in the next chapter might shock you. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. Without one lucky chance in 1968, Microsoft might never have existed. Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft and one of the richest people in the world. He went to a very special high school. Back then, almost no school in the world had a computer. But he did not choose that school because of the computer. He was simply lucky. In other words, without that chance, Microsoft might not exist today. We love success stories. We read about successful people. We think they worked hard and were smart. But Morgan Housel says something very different. Luck and risk are both very real things. They are just as powerful as skill and hard work. Think about this. Bill Gates is very smart, but thousands of other people are just as smart. They worked just as hard, but they did not have the same lucky chance. We never hear their names. This is called survivorship bias. We only see the winners. We do not see the many people who tried and failed. So we think success is all about skill. But sometimes, luck matters more than skill. Risk is the same idea, but in the opposite direction. Think about a fund called LTCM. It was started by some of the smartest people in the world. Two of them had won the Nobel Prize in economics. They had the best strategies. Everyone thought it was safe. But in 1998, Russia had a sudden economic crisis. Nobody expected it. LTCM lost almost everything in just a few weeks. Those people did nothing wrong. They were simply unlucky. Even the best decision can sometimes lead to a bad result. You do everything right, but a small piece of bad luck changes everything. That is not your fault. That is simply risk. Good decisions can lead to bad results. Bad decisions can sometimes lead to good results. We must accept this. So we should not be too proud of our successes. And we should not be too hard on ourselves for failures. The same Malmendier study shows this clearly. A large part of wealth differences come from things outside our control. The country you were born in matters. The time you were born in matters too. No amount of skill can change those things. Luck matters. Risk is real. But there is a different and very dangerous trap. Even people who had great luck sometimes lose everything. What causes this? The next chapter holds a surprising answer. Chapter 3. Never Enough. Rajat Gupta had about $100 million. Then he went to prison. He was the head of McKinsey. That is one of the most powerful companies on earth. He was respected everywhere. Why did he lose everything? Because he wanted more. Morgan Housel calls this the never enough problem. It is one of the most dangerous traps in personal finance. Here is how the trap works. You reach a goal. You feel happy for a short time. Then you look around. You see someone with even more. Suddenly, what you have does not feel like enough. So you move the target. You take bigger risks. You do things you should not do. This is exactly what happened to Gupta. He already had more money than he could ever spend. But he looked at the billionaires around him, and he felt poor. So he broke the law. He used secret information to make more money. He lost his career, his reputation, his freedom. For what? Housel's message is clear. The most important financial skill is knowing when you have enough. Not the smartest investment, not the highest salary. Defining your own enough number. Greed will always push you to want more. Set your limit now. And wanting more means taking bigger and bigger risks. One day, one of those risks will destroy everything you built. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman showed this in his famous 1979 study. Losing $10 feels much worse than winning $10 feels good. That is why we always want more. We fear losing what we already have. Knowing you're enough is your best protection. But what is the most powerful tool for actually building wealth? It is much simpler than most people think. Let's find out in the next chapter. Chapter 4. The Magic of Compounding. When did you start saving money? At 30? At 40? Maybe you have not started yet. Most people start too late. But this chapter will show you why starting early matters more than anything else. The key word is compounding. Compounding means your money earns returns. Then those returns earn more returns. Then more, and more, and more. It sounds simple, but over a long time, the effect is almost unbelievable. Imagine putting some money into an investment. Every year it grows a little. At first, the growth is slow. You might not even notice it. But after 20 or 30 years, something amazing happens. The growth becomes very large, much larger than you ever expected. Warren Buffett is the best example of this. He made 99% of his wealth after the age of 65. He started investing at age 11 and never stopped. Imagine if he started at 30, like most people. He would have much, much less money today. The secret is not how much he saved. It is how early he started and how long he kept going. Now think about yourself again. It is not too late to start. The sooner you start, the more time compounding has to work. Being the smartest investor is not the key to building wealth. It is staying in the game for a very long time. Many people chase the best stocks and the best strategies, but they miss the real secret. Good results over a long time are very powerful. They beat great results over a short time. Patience is the true superpower. Not being smart, not special knowledge, just time, and the strength to keep going. A Dalbar study shows something important. Average investors earn far less than the market. The reason is not bad picks. They stop investing when markets fall. Time makes compounding work. But many people still lose their wealth. There is a hidden reason for this. The next chapter will show you exactly what it is. Chapter 5. Getting Wealthy versus Staying Wealthy. Jesse Livermore was the greatest stock trader in history. The 1929 stock market crash hurt many people. But Livermore was getting richer. He made $100 million when markets crashed. At that moment, he was one of the richest people in the world. But in the end, he lost it all. How did this happen? He bought mansions. He bought yachts. He lived in the most expensive way possible. He kept no safety net. He used all his money for big, risky trades. By 1934, just 5 years later, he was bankrupt. In the end, he lost it all. And later, he ended his own life. This is one of the most tragic stories in financial history. But there is a very important lesson here. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two completely different skills. Morgan Housel explains this difference very clearly. To get wealthy, you often need to be bold. You need to take risks. You need to believe in something and chase it hard. A positive, bold way can work well. But to stay wealthy, you need the opposite. You need to be humble. You need to expect things to go wrong, because they will. Markets fall. Companies fail. Unexpected events happen. This is not if. This is when. Housel calls this the survival way of thinking. Do not risk too much. One bad event can destroy everything. Always keep a safety net. Livermore broke this rule. When things turned against him, he had no protection. One bad event made him lose everything. Compare this to Warren Buffett. He always holds a large amount of cash. He never puts everything in one place. When markets fall, he survives. When markets go up again, he is ready to grow. Financial planning researchers have shown this clearly. Wealth is often lost because people have no financial buffer. That buffer is what keeps you safe during hard times. A simple savings buffer can prevent most major financial disasters. Staying in the game is more important than winning every round. Survival is the real strategy. Now we know how to build wealth and keep it. But there is one more important question. What is money actually for? The next chapter might change how you see your life. Chapter 6. Real wealth is invisible. Ronald Red worked at a gas station for many years. Then he worked as a cleaner at a supermarket. He drove an old car. He wore old clothes. He fixed his coat with a safety pin instead of buying a new one. Nobody thought he was rich. When he died in 2014, everyone was shocked. He had over $8 million. How did he do it? He did not have a high-paying job. He did not have a special investment strategy. He simply spent very little and saved every month for decades. That is it. This is the heart of Chapter 6. Real wealth is invisible. You cannot see it. You cannot touch it. It does not drive a fancy car or wear an expensive watch. It sits quietly in a savings account. It grows slowly in the background. Morgan Housel calls this the man in the car paradox. When you see someone in a fancy car, you notice the car, but you do not really think about the person. Other people do not care about your things as much as you think. So why do people spend so much to look rich? Because they want to feel respected. But spending to look wealthy makes you less wealthy. It is a losing game. Ronald Read never played that game. He had nothing to prove to anyone. And that is exactly why he became wealthy. You do not need a high income to become wealthy. You need a high savings rate. Earning a lot is not enough. If you spend even more, you will never be wealthy. Saving regularly is the key. Even an average earner can become very wealthy over time. Personal finance researchers have found this again and again. High earners who spend everything often have low total wealth. Average earners who save all the time often have more. Real wealth comes from the gap between income and spending. We have covered 6 big ideas from this book. But there is one more idea. It might be the most important one. What is the real purpose of money? Let's talk about that right now. Chapter 7. Freedom. The real purpose of money. Imagine a man who worked hard his whole life. He had a good job, a good salary. His children grew up. They left home. His parents got old and needed his help. But he could not take time off work. The bills were too high. The mortgage was too big. By the time he finally retired, his parents were gone. His children were busy with their own lives. The time he wanted to protect was already lost. This story is not unusual. Many people reach the end of their working life with the same regret. Not, I wish I had more money, but I wish I had more time. Housel says money's greatest value is not the things you buy. It is the power to choose how you use your own time. He calls this the highest dividend, the best reward that money pays. Think about your daily life. How much of your time do you truly choose? How much is controlled by your boss or your bills? How much is controlled by your debt? When you have financial security, enough money saved to feel safe, everything changes. You can say no to a bad job. You can take care of your family when they need you. You can work on something you love. You can retire when you are ready. This is freedom. And freedom is far more valuable than any expensive thing. Many people spend their money trying to feel happy through things. A bigger car, a nicer watch, an expensive holiday. These things feel wonderful for a short time. But they do not give lasting happiness. Control over your own time gives it. The man in our story had enough money, but he never saved enough to feel free. Do not make the same mistake. Use your money to buy freedom. Save more. Spend less on things that do not truly matter. Build a safety net. Give yourself choices. Economist Daniel Kahneman at Princeton University found this in a 2010 study. Income does improve happiness. But the main reason is not luxury. It is the control over your own time that matters. This is the final message of the psychology of money. Money is not the goal. Freedom is the real goal. Money is simply the tool to get there. Now, let's bring everything together. Conclusion. Hausel's message. Let's go back through what we covered today. Chapter 1. No one is crazy. We all make money decisions based on our life stories. Be patient with yourself and with others. Chapter 2. Luck and risk are real. Do not think your wins are all because of you. Do not take all the blame for your losses. Chapter 3. Know you're enough. Define your limit. Do not let greed push you into risks you don't need. Chapter 4. Compounding is powerful. Time is the key. Start early. Do not stop. Chapter 5. Staying wealthy requires survival. Do not risk too much. One bad event can destroy everything. Always keep a safety net. Chapter 6. Real wealth is invisible. Spend less than you earn. Save the difference. Chapter 7. Money buys freedom. Use money to control your own time. That is the real goal. Morgan Housel's main message is not about complex strategies. It is about behavior. It is about knowing yourself. The next time you make a money decision, pause. Ask yourself, am I thinking clearly right now? Or am I acting from fear? From greed? Am I trying to impress someone? Honest answers can change your financial life. Not just your bank account, but your sense of freedom, your sense of happiness. This is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I truly hope it gave you something to think about. I want to make this small channel a great channel, together with all of you. If you have ideas to make this content better, please leave a comment. Even a small suggestion is very welcome. If that feels like too much, just pressing the like button makes me very happy. If you want to practice English listening more, this channel has many other videos. Please subscribe so you never miss a new one. See you in the next one.